Alright everyone, how's it going? What's up today? Today is February 3rd. We're already in February, man. That is freaking crazy. It was just December. January, I don't even know where January went. January's gone way out the window. But anyways, we've made it second month of February. Hope everyone's still killing it with their goals. Whatever they set out for the New Year's resolutions. Hopefully they're sticking to that for now. And actually getting somewhere with those. So I'm here today to talk about something, basically what my overall goal is for this channel right now. Where it goes in the future, who knows, but we're taking one step at a time. That's how we do it here. So with that being said, this video is going to be kind of it's not really fitness related, but I'm going to get into it. It's actually going to be about basically a switch over to a positive lifestyle. That's kind of what my overall goal is to get for you guys to kind of switch to, I guess, and how to start seeing results. So let's dive on into it, because we're doing this in one take. I do have a video editor now, so I'm going to play around with that a little bit, see kind of where that takes me. But until then, we're just, doing this raw. But I did, though, find out I can use my webcam to record, so that's pretty sick, because the resolution's a bit different. I'm sure that you can kind of see it there, or I can see myself, so looks pretty sick. Anyways, so basically my overall goal, again, is to basically advise you guys the basics of how to begin and live kind of with a positive lifestyle, the changes required to obtain such a lifestyle, what my recommendations are, basically how to become the best version of yourself. This goes for basically what I preach about: fitness, nutrition, motivation, even though that motivation is internal, so you guys will be getting the motivation hopefully from me, and inspiration avec moi, because I'd honestly really enjoy all four of these elements, and basically all of the shots, all of the thoughts in my head. I want to share them with you guys, because I believe they all go hand in hand with each other. Kind of like they're the key components. They're the ingredients that you need for the recipe for a positive lifestyle. So I don't know if you know me well enough. You know that I don't like the term healthy, because it's such a broad term, and whenever I ask anybody to define it, they're kind of left confused. They don't really know what healthy is. This is why I actually prefer the term positive, a positive lifestyle instead of a healthy lifestyle. It basically implies that there's little to no negativity. Looking at anything in life through a negative lens, it's only going to return negative results. But our goal here is for positive results. Therefore, we got to look through life with a positive lens, right? You want to see positive, basically whatever you look for in life, that's what you're going to find. If you're out there searching, let's take driving on the road, for example. If you are driving on the highway with a Honda Civic in mind, and you're like, I'm only looking for Honda Civics, I want to see Honda Civics. When you're driving around, you could see hundreds of cars pass by you. But you don't care about those cars. You see one Honda Civic, there it is. There's the Honda Civic. That's what I was looking for. You don't notice all the other cars around you. So basically what you focus on is what you're going to see. So if you focus on positive results, everything that you do is going to be positive. So anyways, back to what we were talking about. So how do you define healthy? Healthy food. Is it low in calories? Is it a food with a lot of vitamins and nutrients? What types of vitamins and nutrients, and what percentages do these foods have to be? What's the overall requirements of the daily intake? Are they foods that just aren't calorie dense? They don't have a lot of calories to them. Again, low calorie foods. Are they foods just with that overall good macronutrient breakdown? What are they? How do we define it? See, this is the thing. We don't know. I basically believe there's so many different options That's why I think that this term itself is kind of subjective, because one person might think it's healthy because, it's an apple, for example. And apples are healthy because they're fruit, they're low in calories, etc. But if you have, let's see, one apple is 80 calories. So if you have 20 apples a day, that's 1,600 calories. For the average kid, let's take it into more realistic terms. If you have 40 apples a day, that's 3,200 calories that you're having. You're going to gain weight off that. Therefore, if you eat apples, you're going to gain weight. That's kind of how studies work. So, because you're going to be gaining weight from them, apples cause obesity. It's things like this in the fitness industry that we just kind of gotta work around and basically help others realize that this is not how it should be. But anyways, that is way besides the point, because every day with science there's new studies coming out, and it makes it hard to determine exactly what or who to actually listen to, because everybody's different, and everybody's body's different, so everyone's going to react to things differently. That's why it's really important to learn what's best for your body and just ride that wave. Ride it. Find what you love to do and just go, because that's how you're going to get the results. You're not going to get results by copying someone else. Let me rephrase that. You will see results by copying someone else. Will they be the best for you? Probably not, but it's a possibility. But again, highly unlikely. So it's not to say that you can't get ideas from others, because I do this all the time. I will see some exact workout on Instagram, or honestly pretty much Instagram, maybe on YouTube as well, and I'll copy that exercise, see if I like it. If I like it, I'll keep going with it because I'm seeing the results. If I don't like it, that's all right. I'm going to go straight back to what I was doing previously. So again, adapt to what you enjoy and what you see the best benefits from. Basically, there's a lot of great writers. They kind of call this term sharpening the saw, if you've ever heard of that. It essentially means that you're constantly learning and growing and improving your knowledge. For if you were to stop sharpening that saw, your blade's going to become dull, and then it's not going to be a very good saw. If you're going to cut that tree down, for example, with a dull saw, it's going to take you a very long time. It's going to be very difficult. But if you keep that saw sharp, then you're going to cut the tree down no problemo. So by constantly and consistently learning and applying your knowledge basically to life and all aspects of it, you're basically sharpening your brain, your senses, and your figurative saw. So if I see something that appeals to me, again, I'm going to try it out. I'm going to see basically how it works, if it works for me. Worst case scenario, it's not for me, and I can just move on knowing that. Whatever. It's not, not a huge deal, because you never know what works until you actually try it yourself. All the time I hear stuff like, oh, I don't know how to do this, or I'm not good at that. So how do you expect to get better or to learn if you refuse to even try in the first place? If you don't try, you're never going to ever learn. Playing basketball, you see some guy shooting three-pointers non-stop all the time. He's shooting one after another and another, and then you look at him, oh, I could never do that. I can't do that. I suck at basketball. Because you don't play basketball. If you want to get better at basketball, play basketball. It's as simple as that. If you get on that court and you start throwing threes, whatever the term is, basketball is a bad term for me to use because I don't actually watch basketball that much. I'm more of a hockey guy myself. If that's the blanket that we got in the back here, Toronto Maple Leafs, go Toronto. But over time you are going to learn. So if you want to see the results, got to put in the effort. You're not going to learn anything by making excuses and refusing to even try in the first place. So this is where we're going to come into our fun and exciting example. We have two brothers, right? They're going to an apple orchard to get some apples for their mother. Their mom's going to make a beautiful pie, a delicious apple pie for them. So one brother, Jim, he's 6'4", while the other brother, Mike, is only 5'4". He's a bit on the shorter side, to say the least. So they both get to the orchard and notice that all the apples that are lower to the ground have already been taken. All that's left down there are all the old apples, the rotten apples, the ones that people are stepping on, things like that. Ones that are you wouldn't really want to take, because all the good apples from that were on the bottom originally, they were gone instantly. People came, snatched them up as soon as they could because they're easy to basically get to. A bit higher up near the top of the vines, however, there are all the beautiful green apples, and I say green because I'm talking about Granny Smith, because Granny Smith are the best apples. Best apples, Granny Smith. So, and by green I don't mean unripe red apples. I'm specifically Granny Smith. If you want to say red apples, let's say red apples. But anyways, they're all up there. They're free for the taking because no one can get to them because they're too high up, because no one can reach them. Along comes Jim. Jim has absolutely no issue getting these apples. He's genetically gifted with his height, so he can just go ahead and pluck away. Whereas Mike, being 5'4", he's having some problems as he believes it's impossible for him to even get these apples, just because he's not as tall as Jim. So he's using an excuse. Oh, I'm not as tall as Jim, therefore I can't get the apples. Sucks to be Mike, right? That's what the average person thinks, and that's what they believe. It's why they go for all the fruit near the bottom of the tree, because it's easy to get to. There's no challenge to get the fruit down there. There's no effort required to get the fruit. You don't need to think or act in any way outside of the box to get the fruit. You just pluck away at the easy to reach fruit. But again, that's what everyone is going to go for because it's simple. No one wants to put in any effort to get the ones near the top of the tree, even though they're the best. They'll just settle for the ones that are, subpar standard apples down by the bottom because, again, they're the easiest to get to. Basically, so when there's no challenge, the results are going to be poor, right? So the quality of the apples, again, are subpar near the bottom. Jim sure is lucky. Jim is the luckiest guy ever because he's so tall he can reach the apples at the top of the tree with ease. No issue. If I was Jim, I would have no problem getting the apples up there. The only reason that Jim can get those apples is because he's genetically gifted. There's no way I'd be able to reach those ever. So I'm not even going to bother trying. Nope. That is a waste of my time to try to get those apples. So let's not even bother. Now, let's be real for just for 1 second. Just for 1 second. So we know that basically we, as humans, we're capable of doing a lot of stuff. Like a lot of stuff. We put a friggin' human on the moon. There's so many things that we can do. We just gotta set our minds to it. Anything, honestly, anything. Maybe we can't flap our arms and fly yet, but we can get in a plane and fly. We can put something on our back. We can work around anything. Realistically speaking, we're pretty smart. Humans are pretty smart things, right? So it might require a bit of effort. It might require a bit of thinking. That you're going to need to do, but I'm pretty sure that we can figure this out. So Mike, being the shorter guy that he is, he wants the apples on the top of the tree. He wants to get the apples that Jim can get. He knows that he won't be able to simply reach them like his brother Jim, just by being as tall as he is and just reaching for them. But that doesn't mean that hope is lost. It doesn't mean that he isn't going to be able to get those apples. He could ask Jim to pick him up, or just to give him a boost, or to even just give him the apples. But then he'd be relying on Jim to get those apples. He'll be achieving his goal, but he isn't really putting any effort in himself. He's thinking, he's using thought, he's delegating the task to somebody else to get the apples for him. But if he was by himself, how would he get the apples? If he wants to see results himself, he needs to think of a way to do things himself. Now, with that being said, delegating a task, very good idea. Not an issue at all, but Jim needs to do this. No, sorry, Mike. Mike needs to do this himself. Mike cannot rely on Jim for everything, and for such, apples, he needs to figure this out for himself. So, Mike does some thinking. He's like, if we are not going to use Jim's help to get these apples, how the heck am I going to reach these? Now, the most effective way that we can think of this is by jumping, right? All we got to do is jump. If we're 5'4" and we put in, a tiny boost, take a little jump, then we might be able to reach them. So he takes one quick jump, still can't reach the apples. Now, should he give up just because he didn't get it on his first try? I think you know the answer by now. Why would you give up just because of that? No, you're going to keep jumping. You're going to keep trying. You're going to jump over and over and over again. Each time that Mike jumps, he figures out a more effective way to jump, utilizing his quads more. He might be perfecting his jumping form. He might be jumping at a different angle. He might be trying out new things, engaging his arms. A whole bunch of things. But he'll learn these over time. He'll take one thing at a time. So the first time he jumps, he just does a little dinky jump, to see what happened. Next time, he goes down a bit more, puts more pressure. Once he figures that out, then he'll add another thing. And then I like the angle. Then he'll add something else, and then another thing, and then another thing. And then these tiny things will each add up to his overall goal of getting apples, because they're gonna help him actually jump to get the apples. So each time he jumps, he does one small thing better than he did the previous time. So after a couple of attempts, he's jumping. He's looking like a fool. Let's be honest. You just see some guy in an apple orchard just jumping over and over again. He's like, I want those apples, and everyone's like, why doesn't he just ask Jim? Why doesn't he just ask the guy that can reach him without any problems? Everyone's gonna be judging him. Who cares? Because Mike's getting the apples. Mike is doing what he needs to do so that he can get the apples himself, so that he's not relying on Jim. Who cares if he's being judged? No one's judging him. Everyone's like, yeah, you know what, Mike? You go. You go and you get those apples because you can do it, dude. So, get to it. So after a couple of attempts, he finally manages to jump high enough, just high enough, to get the same apples as his brother, Jim. He may have had to put in a bit more effort, might have had to use a bit more thinking, might have had to actually do something out of the ordinary to get these apples. However, that shouldn't even be a factor in the process of attaining the apples. And by that, I mean his brother's height, because his brother's height has no effect on himself, nor in his abilities to actually eat apples. So I think that Jim's going to sure feel awesome knowing that, Mike will sure feel awesome knowing that now he has the ability to get the best apples in the orchard himself. He went against the norm of obtaining the low-hanging fruit, which is what everyone else was doing, and he reached for the sky. Right? Yeah? All right. I thought it was funny. So whenever you come across something that seems challenging, just don't give up on the first sign of failure or inability to achieve that goal. Just continue to persevere and set standards so high for yourself, so high, and something that you would not be able to even think that you could do. And just continue to persevere. And eventually, your mind will go to great lengths to determine ways on how to get what you want, and then perhaps even more. By normal thinking, you'll get normal results. If you set your standards high, then you will get greater results. So, I think you guys know what to do now. Anyway, so that's just, a story that basically really kind of reflects kind of how to, get results. Soon we are going to be going into more fitness-oriented things. I want to get into the anatomy of the body, things like that. Whole bunch of different aspects. And yeah, so that's what we got for now. Thank you all for watching, and if you made it this far, that is so sick. I see people say that all the time, but I think now I truly do appreciate it. Just knowing someone's taking time out of their day just to listen to me talk, or watch me talk, or watch me talk to the camera with some posters in the background and things like that, about some cool stuff. Honestly, it means so much. So thank you all so much. Again, bottom of my heart, super sick. We're gonna put out some sick stuff. Eventually we will get better at editing videos. So it's all a process, but we'll get there. So again, thank you guys, and I was gonna do that, but no, I changed my mind. Peace.